Imagine this. I take every single galaxy in the entire universe, shrink them into little pieces of cereal, and pour them on my head. Right here in this swimming pool. The real question is, how high would they pile up? Just how many galaxies are out there? And stick with me, because there's a twist later on, I've never seen in any other space video. Even if you're an astrophysicist, I think you'll find this surprising. Now, in the very first video I ever made for YouTube, I shrunk the observable universe down to a sphere just 10 kilometers across, about 6 miles. Or, if you hate football fields, as a comparison, how about 37 Titanics lined up end to end? On this scale, galaxies shrink down to the size of cereal flakes. The Milky Way, Andromeda, they'd only be an arm's length apart. Nice, simple, easy to picture. But there's one problem. Brains are awful at imagining such huge numbers when things are floating far apart. So today, I'm cramming all those galaxies into one place. Right here in this pool. I want us to see it, feel it, swim through it. This pool is a regular 4-lane, 25 meters long, over 500,000 liters when filled. And every single piece of cereal, a galaxy, hundreds of billions of stars, even more planets, just sitting there in a spoonful. Mind-bending already, right? But watch this. If you guessed all galaxies would just fill this pool, you're wrong. They actually spill over into more than 355 swimming pools, like this one. That's what the observable universe looks like when you stuff it into something you can dive into. Hundreds of billions of galaxies, shoulder to shoulder. Here's the Milky Way right here, just one among the crowd. Our solar system tiny, about halfway from the center. And what's incredible, this is still just the minimum number, because the truth is, we can only see as far as light's had time to travel. Beyond this horizon, the universe keeps going, maybe much bigger, maybe infinite. Now hold on a second, you might be wondering, how do we even know these numbers? Are we sure this isn't just a wild guess? The answer is almost disappointingly simple. We took pictures and counted. That's it. The hard part was building a telescope sharp enough to do the counting. Enter Hubble. Back in 1995, it stared at a tiny, dark patch of sky, nothing there. We thought for 10 whole days. When the image came back, the world gasped. This Hubble Deep Field showed not stars, but 3,000 galaxies in that tiny speck of sky. And that patch, it's just 1/24 millionth of the entire night sky. Multiply it out, 72 billion galaxies. Later images push that to about 200 billion. And that's only the big bright ones we can currently detect. Fainter galaxies push estimates closer to 2 trillion. Now for the twist I promised. Picture standing in Antarctica on a crystal clear night. Shut off the stars in our galaxy. Gone. Shut off Andromeda, the Magellanic Clouds. Now crank your eyes a billion times more sensitive. Suddenly, the sky lights up. Every direction you look, galaxies. Not a few, not dozens, billions. The universe isn't black at all. If our eyes were strong enough, we'd see a glowing gray blanket made of galaxies upon galaxies upon galaxies. That's the reality. That's what's surrounding you right now, out of your head. Even as you watch this, we barely scratch the surface. And here's where it gets even crazier. Just in the Milky Way alone, data from the Kepler telescope estimates there are 11 billion Earth-like planets around Sun-like stars, sitting in the habitable zone where liquid water could exist. 11 billion Earths in one galaxy. Multiply by 2 trillion galaxies, and suddenly, the question isn't is there life out there, but how could there not be? This is why we're living in the most exciting age of space discovery ever. We're building telescopes to detect signs of life in distant atmospheres, looking at oceans hiding under the ice of Europa or Enceladus, expanding our reach every decade. And the best part, you don't have to be a scientist to be part of it. Organizations like the Planetary Society, founded in 1980 by Carl Sagan, and now led by Bill Nye, exist to involve everyone in exploration, the search for life, and even planetary defense. I'm a member myself, and if you care about space, it's an amazing way to be personally connected to humanity's adventure. So, yeah, the numbers are overwhelming. The galaxies are uncountable, but that flood of wonder tells me something. We've only just taken our first step, and the real question now is, what will we discover next?